Welcome to Connect the Dots, a podcast where we unlock the stories that connect each and every one of us. Hosted by me, Zach Day, in partnership with Kenect Nashville. How do you connect? How do you connect? How do you connect? The age-old question, you know what I'm saying? Hey everybody, welcome back to Connect the Dots podcast in a new location, aka my apartment on the 17th floor of Kenect Nashville. We're here and it's Pride Month, so we're just gonna have so much fun today. I've got my guest and my friend, Alissa. What's your last name?
Stevens.
Alissa Stevens here with me today.
Hey,
welcome
y'all.
to the podcast. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm glad you're here. And thanks for coming to my apartment and last minute kind of change up.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well, girl, you know, that's what we're here to do. And we're here to connect. So, welcome. And you're kind of new to Nashville, right?
Yeah.
You've only been
6
here
weeks, I think.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, how, you know, where you're not from here. You know, just tell us a little bit about your story. Give us the highlights.
The highlights. Okay. Without any detours, right?
No, girl, take your time.
Okay.
It's a conversation. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, my name's Alissa. I'm from LA originally, and we just moved here 6 weeks ago on a little journey from Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
We're digital nomads, so we move around every 6 months or so. And professionally, I am a content creator. I have an online coaching business, and I also do consulting for environmental sustainability.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a busy lady.
Yeah.
Digital nomad. I think that's the first time I've heard that term was today when you guys were telling me about
real?
that. I think so. I'm like, digital nomad. I mean, it sounds amazing. And I mean, I guess I'm kind of like that too in a lot of ways. But how would you describe what's a digital nomad?
So my partner and I work online, and we have our businesses online. And so we just kind of move around and work wherever we want to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that how long have you been doing that first and foremost?
A year and a half.
Okay.
This is our fourth place.
Okay, nice. I was
Yeah.
wondering if I feel like maybe during the big COVID.
The C word.
The C. That was kind of when it was okay, people are going to start working remotely, right?
For sure.
And then I was wondering if that might have had anything to do with, is that what kind of inspired you to start doing that?
It actually did. So it was part of it. So at the time when the world shut down, I was in a leadership program that I was doing for my outside of my work, for personal development. And I kind of had I was working a 9-to-5 job that I totally hated. And I was super single, doing my thing. And I had this kind of itch to start a new career and also just meet somebody. And I was just I remember sitting in my little cubicle.
And this was in LA?
Yeah. In Manhattan Beach specifically. And I was sitting in my little cubicle with the fluorescent lights and stuff. And it was just this is not me. This is not my thing. And I grew up traveling a lot, which I'm very fortunate to have been able to do. But travel is something, and seeing the world and kind of immersing myself in different places and cultures has always been my absolute favorite thing to do. And there's so many places I wanted to see. And I grew up in a really amazing place, one of the best places in the world.
Wow.
And at the same time, I felt okay, I've been here my whole life. I went to college in LA.
Okay.
I'm okay, I've been here my whole life. There's things I wanted. And the only time I left LA was to study abroad, and I went to Madrid and I lived there for 6 months.
That's cool.
And so it was okay, there's so much I want to do and so much I want to see. And how is this going to work though? Because it doesn't fit in the mold of what.
A traditional, Totally.
I was how is this going to work? And I knew I wanted to have my own business at some point, but I always thought, I'm not ready for that. That's going to be, down the road, in my late 30s or whatever. And then when everything shut down and the whole world changed, and all of a sudden that was the norm, it just kind of opened my world of holy crap, like I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. And so in 2021 in February, I was finishing that program. We were all all of us who were graduating, we were talking about like, okay, what's next for us, you know? And I was like, I'm going to meet the love of my life. We're going to start our own businesses that help people around the world, and we're going to travel, and we're going to do our thing, and we're just going to see the world and all of this. And then the craziest thing happened where so that was February 2021. And then in May of 2021, I was swiping on Hinge one day. And shout out to my little sister for getting me back on that app. And like a few hours into the swipe, I see, actually, no, it was the very first profile.
No way.
Yeah, very first profile. I see this guy, and I'm like, I get the shivers, and I'm like, oh Lord,
yeah,
oh Lord. And so we went on our first date, and then 3 days later, I got an opportunity that allowed me to put in my notice at my 9 to 5. So it was like, boom.
Wow.
Yeah. So it all kind of rapidly shifted like that, and then it took a while for us to get into this. We've been together 3 years now. So, we've been doing this for like a year and a half, but
wow.
Yeah, the rest is history.
That's manifesting.
For real.
Like the actually.
For real. For real.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you're in LA doing that's kind of like, I give a lot of credit to Kenect specifically too for like that too, but like it was around the same time, like I moved to Nashville in like 2020, and then a few weeks later everything shut down, and then I was just like, oh, what am I gonna do? And like I was like working at Starbucks and also just trying to like make music and everything like that. It was tough, but then I got the opportunity to leave Starbucks and get like a work from home job, and then I came over to Kenect, and now I'm doing this for them. And yeah, it's just, maybe I'm a digital nomad too, because for those of y'all that don't know, I'm about to be going to Kenect Phoenix for a little while. And we can talk about that because you guys just got here from Kenect Phoenix.
Yep.
So were y'all living in Phoenix when Kenect hit you up, or was that like, okay, we're going to move to Phoenix and do this?
So we started, the first place we went when we left LA was Mexico last year. And then we went to Utah for a bit in the summer, and we were looking for our next place that we were going to be over the winter. And we were like, okay, don't really want to do the snow thing in winter. And so we were kind of cruising around Airbnb, and we're just like, okay, let's check out Phoenix. Who knows? And saw a listing for this really kind of sexy chic apartment. And we were like, okay, like, let's check this out. Yeah. And then, and then started chatting with them, and ended up coming to Phoenix. And now we're here in Nashville. I'm pretty sure we're the first people to kind of go between both of the properties.
Yeah.
But it was super awesome for us because one of the things that, about being a nomad, I feel like it's very like kind of sexy and glamorized.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? And people are like, oh, so what? You just like drink margaritas on the beach all day?
Right.
I mean, you can, but like, good luck. But
you have to film it too, or like whatever.
Yeah, and you have to, do work and make money and
edit
stuff.
And there's a lot that goes into
But Mexico was awesome, but it was like, it's another country, and
that's so cool that you got started in Mexico for your first kind of job together.
We went big. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But,
I mean, I've never been there. I would love to go.
Oh, you should go.
Yeah.
But it was still another country, and it's when you're a working person and you have a lot of stuff going on, not having your kind of daily amenities around makes things a lot harder. And so that was one of the things we were figuring out was, oh, wait a second, like not only if we stay somewhere for 6 months, not only are we 3 months in planning where we're going next, because we have to book accommodations that far ahead, but every time we go somewhere new, we have to remake all of our routines. Like, okay, what gyms are around here? Where are we going to go? And like visit them. So we're like, okay, if we go to this place called Kenect in Phoenix, and they have everything there, they have the gym, they have a co-working space, they have
a pool.
A pool to hang out, and it's like centrally located. Yeah. Then it will make our transition a lot easier. Totally. And that's exactly what we found. So like, Phoenix was cool. And then was a brutal 24-hour drive to get from Phoenix to Nashville. But once we got here, it was just like, boom, dropped in.
Yep.
Hanging out, doing our thing,
right.
getting work done. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, that's the hard part about it for me too, is like, I feel like I love to travel and I like to, I can't stay in one place for too long, but there is also this other part of me that's like, I thrive in routine and like stability. So I'm having to come.
Same. It's like
it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm having to like come to terms with the fact that like, okay, like being an artist, and being someone who just can't, I can't stay in one place for too long, but yeah, that's part of the allure of just like being an artist and traveling and stuff like that. So there's good and bad that come with it. Like I'm just so nervous about like going to Phoenix and then having to I don't know how long I'm going to be there in a way, you know what I mean? So it's like, I can't get too comfortable and I can't, get to like, I'm going to be craving some routine, and then probably by the time I get comfortable, it's going to be time to go.
Literally story of our lives.
Yeah, I'm excited about Phoenix, but a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And now for you, as someone who's kind of been in both Phoenix, you did what, 6 months there or a year? 6 months in Phoenix, and then. Well, first of all, just tell me about what do you think about Phoenix as a city, and then maybe tell me a little bit about what it was like being in Kenect.
Yeah. So Phoenix was, awesome during the wintertime. That was a flex for sure. Being able to still go out and do stuff during the winter and not have that, take over your life and be obnoxious. We did some really cool hikes. That was fun. And
it's so beautiful out there.
Yeah. And then it's literally, the building is in the middle of the downtown area. So there's tons of little cute neighborhood things and bars and restaurants and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think the most we would drive our cars while we lived there was like once a week to go.
Okay, that's good to know.
To go to Trader Joe's.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so super walkable area, which I love. And I don't know. Yeah.
And then you guys were there for 6 months, and then you came out to Kenect Nashville. Been here for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think? Had you been to Nashville before?
No. Wow. I'd heard things about it, especially the, being a hot spot for bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of expected it to see that, but we were pleasantly surprised with kind of the location of this building and being like the perfect distance from Broadway in that area,
right, yeah.
Where it's like less than a mile walk. So we just kind of walk in there if we want to hear some music and do some, fun shenanigans.
Yeah.
But
so you guys have gone down to Broadway a few times?
Yeah, a few times. You have to do it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You have to do it. But then we leave pretty soon after. But everyone's so friendly here and so chill. And then it's this really nice balance of city, but then everything's so lush and green and beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and everyone's just so friendly. Yeah. I'm from LA, so I'm used to
the city folk.
Them city folk.
Yeah.
So I would say between the two properties, it's like Kenect Phoenix is definitely more of a city vibe.
Okay.
It's more of a city vibe and kind of like the hustle and bustle, and Kenect Nashville is kind of a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So
see, I was thinking in my mind it would be the opposite.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Because I went to Kenect Phoenix for 2 weeks, and we got to hang out. We got to go to the NASCAR event, which was really fun
wild.
and hot, and it was rough, but it was fun. But then when I was just chilling at Kenect Phoenix, I was kind of thinking, okay, this is a little bit more to me laid back. And from kind of what we were talking about too, I feel like the people in the building and the community there seems to be a little bit more like, and they're telling me, they do art events and yoga and more just meditation and stuff like that. Whereas here, I feel like it's rage all the time, the pool jams, and it's just fun, but it's just a little different.
Well, yeah, I would say the community is a bit more artsy, if you will. Like there's an event that we did a few times was art night or paint night or something like that.
Yeah.
And, everybody goes and paints your own stuff in the lobby, and then they'll hang the artwork in the lobby, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, I would say at both places, a social vibe. But here, obviously, it's very music and stuff like that.
I hope they do some pool jams maybe at Kenect Phoenix. It's
I feel like you should start that.
I know. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm like, they might throw me up there on the pool with my guitar.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
We'll just rock and roll or cry or whatever. For like my sad boy songs.
Oh my God.
I played the pool jams here once and I was just like, yeah, these people are ready to rage. And I'm like crying on stage pretty much, but it's okay. But yeah, Nashville's really cool. So I'm super stoked though to give Kenect Phoenix a try. I'm nervous because it is going to be so hot.
That's the thing.
It's going to be so hot.
And that's not,
But I'll be there until the end of the year. So like I will get to experience like the quote unquote winter there, I guess, like November, December vibes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm like, should I even pack like a coat?
So wait, you're leaving in December?
I'll be, as of right now, I think I'll be there until December, and then I don't know where I'm going to go after that.
For sure. Okay, so it was like in the 80s through December.
Okay.
But then in January, it dropped to the 30s for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
and then it was
crazy.
done. And then it was over.
Okay, so yeah.
So for
maybe.
those 2 weeks, yeah.
I remember too when I went to Phoenix and I was there for those 2 weeks. I think that was in like April or March or April.
Yeah.
And at Kenect Phoenix, it was warm, but we went up like 2 hours to like the Grand Canyon and it was full on snowing.
Yeah.
And I was just like so confused.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the desert.
And the desert. It's going to be different.
Oh,
we went to
Sedona is
Sedona.
beautiful. Yeah, you should go back there.
Yeah, I'm going to.
It's gorgeous.
So another thing that I'm glad you said that you didn't really drive your car that much there because I was going to drive out there, right? So like my plan over the past little bit, ever since I found out I was going, was like, okay, I'm going to take my car because, I'm going to need a car and everything like that. Well, my AC stopped working the other day, and I'm like, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be able to drive.
Not in the summertime.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And so I was like going and looking at different cars and stuff, and then my dad was like, do you really need your car there? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So now I'm just going to fly there and just...
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of restaurants and, bars and stuff like that. Just depends on, I guess, what you like to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to lie, like the funny part about working from home and working from anywhere is if I'm not careful, a lot of times I'm literally just stationary. So
Same.
I go to, and that's the funny part about having all the amenities in the building.
Right.
Is I'm like, did I even go outside today?
No, for real.
Today?
Like, I'm like, well, I guess, I got the gym there.
Okay. Then I went to the pool. And then I was working in the office and then I went to the co-working. Did I even go outside? So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. And then, so my dad is going to try to like go get my car looked at while I'm gone and hopefully fix my AC. And then like, if I need it, I'm just going to fly back and then make the drive with my car. So
there you go.
We'll see. But yeah, I mean, like I don't have much time. So I've got to like, I'm in the middle of packing everything in my apartment right now.
I believe in you.
But yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to try to just fly there and then I'm going to ship some stuff there that hopefully will just arrive at the apartment by the time I get there.
Miraculously at the same time.
And then I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm here. But yeah, so right now you're at Kenect Nashville. Are you already thinking ahead about like what's the next step? Where you're going next? What's the tea?
We were just starting that conversation this week.
Okay.
Because I will tell you, when we were in Mexico, we were only there for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
3 months seems like a while.
No.
But it's really not.
Not to me.
It's really not. Especially when, if you want to book a place to live for 6 months, you have to, if you want a good place.
Right.
You have to really plan ahead.
Yeah.
So we learned that lesson. But yeah, we are thinking of where we want to go next. And who knows? If we really continue to still love it here, we may try and stay for a little bit.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we're thinking it's going to be winter again. So
Right.
maybe Miami or
Ooh,
somewhere
that'd be
kind
fun.
of fun and zesty like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's been my dream to live in New York forever.
Yeah.
And so
You give me New York energy sometimes.
do you? Do I?
You
Excuse
do.
me, do
Yeah.
you? Do you?
I don't think I do, but I think you do.
Me giving you, giving me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait.
No, you do though.
I hope that's not like standoffish.
No.
standoffish
I
vibes.
think it's just like you saying you're from LA.
Yeah.
To me, I would be like, because I feel like LA and New York, okay, you got two different like stereotypical like look and vibe
Yeah.
and energy. LA, I think like beach girl.
Yeah.
And then like New York, I think like business.
Yeah,
and like
for
you
sure.
stand on business. So I feel like it's kind of more like that. And I could see you thriving in New York. I mean,
Oh, I will thrive there.
Do you love it? Have you been there plenty of times?
I've been there probably like 10 times in my life.
Yeah.
I love
I can
it
just,
so
I can
much.
see that. I can feel it. Yeah, you should go there.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, and it's much expense. Very, very much expense.
Very.
So
And it gets cold in
For
the
sure.
winter too.
That's the thing. So Logan's lived there. He lived there off and on for like 3 years. And so he's like, I can tolerate it in like 6 months at a time. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we're not going in the winter then. We're going to do
wait till the
yeah,
next-
we're going to do the prime time. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. I'm excited to see where you guys end up. I mean, Nashville's a cool place. I've been here now I did like 2 years here and then I did a year in LA.
Yeah.
And now I've been back here for like almost another full year.
Where were you in LA?
I was in Koreatown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, I could have told you that. I could have told you that.
I wish I would have known you then
Yeah.
because honestly, I was just like, I got to get out here.
Yeah.
And I just kind of found this place. I mean, it was a nice apartment and everything, but it was just.
Anytime it was nice. The
It was
high pitched
nice.
voice,
Yeah.
it was.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was just, you know how Koreatown is. I mean, there's no parking and no one would come
Oh.
see me because it was like you'd have to park like 3 or 4 blocks down the road,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's just crazy busy and kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I do end up, I'm kind of thinking like maybe after Phoenix going back to LA.
Yeah.
So we'll have that conversation, me
Yeah.
and you. But like, I definitely know now, like where to look and not to just like, go to the first place you find. in
I feel
Koreatown.
I feel like a sense of personal responsibility to guide people to
Yeah.
the best pockets of LA
Yeah. I mean, it's
'Cause I-
expensive too.
for sure.
Any of these cities are.
Yeah.
Like, I bet Miami's expensive too. I haven't even looked down there or anything, but
Yeah.
I bet it's crazy. But was Mexico like more affordable or is it just as expensive?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were in Tulum.
Okay. That's
Which-
nice, right? That's like.
It is,
Okay.
and it's this very interesting juxtaposition where Tulum is kind of one of the hot spots.
Yeah.
That started, I would say, about 10 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go there, it's so getting gentrified now.
Oh, okay.
And there's, oh my gosh, 300s of buildings being built there in the
Yeah.
city. Like, you cannot go down a street without seeing new construction. They're
Okay.
building an airport there
Wow.
to be able to fly into it. And so it's this kind of weird, and there's this one neighborhood that is the most developed. There's actual streets there, which I mean, most developed.
Right.
And then there's some designer stores that are coming in there.
Yeah, that's because in my head I picture that too.
Like
a little bit.
Valentino.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like,
Dang, that's,
wait a second.
Yeah.
What? So then you have that, but then, in our neighborhood where we stayed, which is where a lot of the expats who moved there
Yeah.
stayed, it's dirt roads, super dusty. So it's this very kind of interesting mix.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
And then on the beaches, of course, it's, touristy and expensive because
Yeah.
they know that they know they can do that, which
Right.
get your
Yeah.
bag, makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks about Nashville like that. It's getting super gentrified too. Like, you can find some places on the outskirts, but it's going to be in the next couple of years, it's going to just be like, whoo.
That's what, like Franklin and
Yeah.
that
I
kind
mean,
of thing?
Franklin's, like Donaldson. I'm thinking Donaldson, Madison, like some of
Yeah.
these places that used to be kind of like, not so good, but now they're starting to get like
popping
really
off.
Nice, yeah. So,
Well, that's like
wow.
my hometown in LA. So I'm from Manhattan Beach, which is
Right.
in LA.
I
But
don't know if I've been there or not.
so you should definitely go.
Okay.
It's awesome. The reason why it's blowing up is because it's so awesome. So
Oh.
it's like in the southern part of LA, and it's the string of beach towns.
Like
So-
what's around there?
So it's near LAX.
Oh,
basically.
okay,
So
okay.
if you're at LAX, it's like 10-minute drive south.
Gotcha.
So where Venice Beach is,
Yeah.
it's like 25 minutes south.
Okay. How long does it take you to get from like there to like Hollywood?
Well, that's what I was going to say. In LA, we don't talk distance by miles. We talk distance by time travel.
Okay.
Time of travel.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Time travel.
Time travel.
I love a little time
Parallel
travel.
universe.
Yeah.
So funny enough, when Logan moved to LA, he moved to LA 2 days before we met.
Wow.
And he lived in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He had just moved into an apartment. I was living in Manhattan Beach, which is 16 and a half miles apart. But the shortest drive that it would ever take me is about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Totally. Okay.
So yeah.
I couldn't
anyways.
live there, unfortunately, because I have to be in like Hollywood for a lot of shows and stuff. But
Yeah, but we'll talk.
okay.
We'll talk. There's little pockets. But anyways, so Manhattan Beach was this tiny little surf town, and no one knew about it. And I went to this high school on Sunset Boulevard, which was a pain in the ass. Again, hour and a half, like 3 hours in the car getting to and from school every day.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I would tell people, yeah, I live in Manhattan Beach. And they'd be like, where is that? What is that? And then now it's like the hot place where everybody's coming to move there. And there's houses selling for like $150 million and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I love it though. But yeah, I'm just so interested when people are like LA natives or like New York.
There's
or
not
Nashville.
many of us.
There's not.
Yeah.
Like, so were your parents and your whole family like from there, or did they move there and stuff?
So I am fourth generation growing up in Manhattan Beach.
Wow. Oh, that's
which
crazy.
is crazy.
Yeah.
And people are always like, where are you from? I'm like, from here. And
Yeah.
they're like,
No, like
Where?
we're from here.
I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, me too. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I would have known.
I'm like, I can tell.
Yeah.
When did you move here? Oh,
Right.
10 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I'm entitled and snobby about, but
That's okay.
Yeah.
You're allowed that.
yeah. So yeah, and then my mom was from Orange County. So
Okay.
many generations back.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I am about like Kentucky. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like people are like, I'm like, oh, I can tell if you're from here. I would have known you and your
You
family.
can, isn't it kind of weird? Like,
Oh, totally.
you can see the energy and just kind of,
It's an aura kind of
it's
thing.
an aura kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about your business. I mean, we know that you and Logan y'all make really cool stuff for Kenect. So they're so
Thank
lucky
you.
to have you guys because
Thank
it's
you,
just
thank you.
really, really impressive content. And you guys are kind of making Kenect go viral and stuff like that, which is like awesome. So like, congratulations on that. But I also want you to tell me a little bit about like, you know, what you do when you're not working on the Kenect.
Yeah. So I create content for my business. So my primary business is online coaching, and I work online mostly through Instagram. So I'm creating content to kind of shift people's perspectives and share knowledge and wisdom and things like that. And that's where my client base comes from. So I would say, you know, it's not like the stuff we do for Kenect is marketing focused, but then I'm also marketing for my business, but it's more from a personal development lens.
Okay.
And then I also work in environmental sustainability. So I work with a private group of Fortune 500 companies and help them with their sustainable business strategy.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, because
Yeah.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For real.
So, excuse me, I'm not ignoring you or anything.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
looking at questions. I have to
yeah.
always like, make that. How has this kind of social media, digital nomad, content creation life, how has that impacted you? Like, do you feel like this is what you've been meant to do? Like, I know you said like at the beginning you were working like a 9 to 5 and you're like, I know this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So like,
Yeah.
are you finally feeling like, okay, this is actually what I'm meant to be doing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I never, it's kind of strange. It's this duality where I saw myself doing something where I'm helping people, you know, all around the world from my phone and from my computer and like using my voice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my relationship to social media was just as a consumer.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I really want to have a brand and a platform where I can help people, but I am not a content creator. Like my Instagram right now that I use for business is my original Instagram. So if you go far back enough, you can see
like 10, 15 years ago.
Me like partying in
high
Spain.
school.
Literally me partying in Spain and whatnot.
Right.
Actually, don't go back and scroll.
Yeah, don't do
that.
That's creepy.
So there was a growth period where I really had to kind of, it's very vulnerable, as you know, being an artist, it's very vulnerable to kind of stand up and start talking about who you are and what you do, especially doing it into a phone where it's like a void.
It doesn't feel natural.
It's a screen.
Yeah.
It feels completely unnatural.
Yeah.
So it was a very vulnerable thing that I had to get used to. But I knew that I wanted to do that and help people on a global scale. And I used to do sustainability work that was more consumer focused. So helping, I had a podcast actually. That's why the podcast that I had was related to sustainability.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
I started that during the pandemic when everybody and their mother started a podcast.
Yeah.
So
Good idea right there.
yeah. So it was more consumer focused, but then I realized that, consumers play a role in the sense that they create their desires and attention shifts and companies respond to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if the companies don't do anything, there's
it's
no
not
point.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I kind of shifted to working more on the business side of things. And
That's so good.
it's cool because, you know, I go to these retreats like once a year and there's senior, like chief sustainability officer of Amazon.
Yeah.
Who's like, oh yeah, Jeff this and Jeff that. I'm like,
Jeff.
oh, Jeff. Right.
Right.
So just, you know, hearing these conversations that are truly on a global scale with worth billions of dollars and billions of units and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like we can demonize companies and stuff, but I have a lot of empathy for the people in these companies, especially the sustainability folks who are leading the charge in this, because a lot of times they're just fighting to make a difference in their own company to get people to care.
Yeah.
So I feel fulfilled in that sense, knowing, okay, now I've found my footing and I kind of know what I'm about and I'm doing the things that I love, which is helping people and guiding people, traveling and just like nerding out on things that I love. So.
And living the dream.
Yeah.
Living your dream. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Do you have any advice for someone who may be looking to start a similar journey as far as like travel and content creation and all that stuff? Like, do you have any advice for someone that might be looking to do something similar?
Yeah. And I hate that I'm saying this because I feel like it's so annoying to say, but now that I'm on the other side of it, I actually understand it, which is just start.
Yeah, no, just do it.
Just start. Just start. Because, you know, the thing is with being, even though we knew we wanted to travel and be nomadic and stuff like that, we didn't know how it was going to go. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of reasons to not do it. Like, oh, maybe we should wait until we have, you know, X amount of money in the bank. Or, oh, maybe we should wait until our businesses are in this other place.
Yeah.
But when is that, you know?
Right.
When is that?
When will you ever be ready?
When will you ever fully be ready just for anything? So we just kind of took a leap of faith and jumped and learned by doing. Mm-hmm. And it's way more satisfying, I think, to go, way more satisfying to go, okay, wouldn't do it this way again.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And being proud of yourself that you actually took action on the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge thing. And then with content creation, I would say just start, because there's no way to get around your first 100 reps or 1,000 reps.
Right.
Just like with singing.
Yeah.
Right?
Your 10,000 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, work on your craft.
Yeah.
There's no way to not suck in the beginning.
Totally.
It's going to feel so awkward and so cringy.
Yeah.
And so terrible.
Yeah.
But
now look.
there's nowhere to go but through that.
Right.
So just start that, and then, practically speaking, move all your friends and family, like, block them and start a separate Instagram account so you can hang out and do your thing without
fear of judgment.
them watching you.
Yeah,
or not even judgment, but just like, it feels so awkward, and your mom comes onto an Instagram live and she's like, "Hey honey,"
Yeah, I still get that.
So yeah. So you can do that, but just be like, embrace the suck.
Yeah.
And then my hack, which makes complete sense because I'm a coach, my hack has always been find people who are doing the things that you want to do really well and hire them to show you how they're doing it.
Love
so
that.
that you can collapse time and not, make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Like if there's someone that I like, oh my gosh, you're such a good guitar player. Like, could you give me some lessons?
Yeah.
And maybe they will. And then you can learn from the people that inspire you. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I just have a couple more questions
Sure.
for you, and then we're going to wrap it up here. But I wanted to ask you, I kind of ask all my guests this because I think that it's super important to kind of have a work-life balance. As someone who, we probably relate on this, but, we're kind of go. We're kind of always on our phones.
Go.
We're kind of
Lord.
always moving around. How do you find... Well, okay. What do you do in the downtime, if you have any? And like, how do you find that work-life balance? What do you do to relax? Just curious.
So funny enough, I actually have a tattoo that is on the back of my neck that I forget sometimes is there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a symbol for like balance and harmony.
Nice.
So yeah, keep me in check.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about the advice that I would give to people wanting to do social media is boundaries.
Yeah.
And having boundaries with your phone and how you're using it and the way that you're consuming, because it can be really easy to feel like you're always on if you don't do that.
100%.
So anyway, that was a tangent, but
no, I love it. I appreciate that.
yeah. So for balance, I mean, I keep it simple. I work out. I have to.
Yeah.
Have to for my sanity.
Yeah.
Also, something that is really cool about being in Nashville is all of the events that they have here in the building.
Yeah.
And just locally, there's stuff going on all the time.
100%.
But last night, for example, there was a mocktail making class here in the building.
Yeah.
And so we prioritize going and doing fun things that are like creatively stimulating, Yeah. So,
and gets you out of your apartment.
Yeah. Doing something different.
Yeah.
And then what else? Travel is something that we do
Nice.
just for fun. Just for fun.
It doesn't relax me like that. It stresses
Really?
me. When I'm in the moment, maybe, but like when I'm
Do airports stress you out?
Yes, I can't. I don't
love airports.
I don't like to fly, girl.
Oh, I love airports.
That's so funny. My friend does too, and I'm like, how? I can't stand it.
It's just, it represents like possibility.
I get
to me.
that.
You know what I mean?
I get that.
Yeah.
But, ooh.
And then also something that speaking of boundaries, something that we've been doing lately since we were moving to Nashville, and we're like, okay, fresh start. Like, what are we going to do differently going to Nashville? And we've been doing dates like throughout the week. So Wednesday
fun.
night is date night. Saturday is date day where we like go explore the city.
Yeah.
And then Sunday we have this sun date where we basically like debrief the week.
Yeah.
And we talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and what we're focusing on for the next week. And it's just kind of our opportunity to connect with each other.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
I love that. I mean, Kenect on brand here.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, that's the next thing I was going to ask you about. Like, what are your ways of connecting with maybe new people or people around you, friends, family? Just how do you connect?
Well, I love deep conversation.
Yeah.
That's
Heart to heart.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm like the person who, is at a party and all of a sudden I'm making friends with this girl, and then we're like in the corner talking about like our deepest, darkest fears and like childhood traumas and stuff.
Totally. Same.
I'm like, and they're like, wow, I've never like,
you guys are best friends. It's
yeah.
like, no, we just met.
Yeah. No, we just met. So deep conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Like give me a dinner party with some wine and some fun little snacks and food and just connecting.
I love that.
And yeah, deep conversation. And then truthfully I would say that's one thing. If you're interested in being a nomad, one thing to consider is that with all of the exploration and moving around, it can be lonely at times.
Yeah.
It can be super lonely.
Yeah.
So you have to make
That's what I was going to tell you. Like you guys are kind of lucky that you have each other to have these kind of moments.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm missing because I'm like, gosh, I wish I had like someone, a partner or like a friend or just someone that would like be able to do that stuff with me. Cause that's really nice that you guys have that. I love that. But yeah, I can get lonely. And then if you're an introverted kind of person, I'm kind of introverted, honestly. Like I'm a homebody. So it's hard for me to put myself out there, but
totally.
I know you have to.
So I have to out myself, and this is so silly, but it can be easy for us to go to a new place and then just like be with each other all the time, which is not a problem.
Yeah.
Like I think it's great that we want to be with each other all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I really miss friends, and just hanging out, especially like girl time and stuff.
Totally.
So I'm at the coffee shop a couple weeks ago and I got to chatting with this girl. She was sitting at the table next to me and I overheard this guy hitting on her. Ooh. And I was like, okay, he left and I was like, I'm curious, are you going to go on the date? And
that's so funny.
Then we started chatting and we exchanged numbers and stuff. Aww. And I was like, can we be friends?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like making friends as an adult. Just invite her over
to the pool.
Yeah. But
that's what you should do.
So anyway, if you're a digital nomad, just know like it can be very lonely and you have to put yourself out there to make friends. But I would say that's one thing that I appreciate about being at Kenect is with the events and stuff last night. Like everyone's just so friendly here. And so it can be, there's more chances and opportunities to meet people, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that like, people that are going to an event like that in the building or whatever, the chances are they are going in hopes of like meeting cool people, making friends. So yeah, most of those people are probably excited about that too. And I love that you got to go to that because I was going to ask you about the events at Kenect too. I mean, the one you went to last night was hosted by Carmen and we just had her on the podcast last week and she's super sweet. Yeah. Woo. And you guys should go listen to her episode. She's awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things about Kenect is just like, there are these events where you can connect with the people. So I'm excited to see what kind of events they're going to have at Phoenix. And I know the ones here are just popping off. So
Yeah.
Is there anything coming up that you guys are hoping to check out or attend? Maybe the pool jams?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And they just opened like a coffee shop downstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah.
You might be able
I
to meet
always
people.
like to mix up a little work environment, a little mix up there. So probably go do some fun things and get some snacks and some bevies and do all of that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's it. That's all I have for you today. Yay. So if you want to, shout out your socials or where we can find you, or both of you guys, whatever you want to do, feel free to just shout out.
Sure. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is @_Alissa Stevens _ and Alissa is ALISSA.
And Stevens with a V or
Stevens
PH.
with a V. I forget that the PH is a thing.
That's here.
So thank you. Okay.
Okay. And you guys can check me out at Zach. And then be sure to follow Kenect Phoenix and Kenect Nashville.
Shout out Kenect.
Shout out to Kenect.
We're connecting
all day, every day. That's going to do it. Until next time, guys.